This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
You know how sometimes the first play of the game can be a real tone setter?
Aussie.
Yeah, I basically just went with Ashton Jen Teabag.
NFL.
He's not a walking 7 for 70 as I learnt last week when he went 1 for 5.
Fantasy.
I'd probably lean towards taking Henry maybe ahead of McCaffrey just because of what I've seen.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Loading.
Australia's premier NFL fantasy football show is back for the Aussie Gridiron Network. This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. They call me Matty C, and joining me this week, now that we are done with the buys, Tay, we can be NSYNC and we can say bye to the buys. Let's introduce Taylor. It's good to have you back, mate.
Matty fucking C, it's week 15 and the fantasy playoffs are here. My opponents better check their rear because the beating they are going to get is going to be severe. Let's go.
Let's go. When you started with 15, I'm like, he's going back to peen again. I felt like I got the crystal ball out. I'm like, he's just going straight back to peenness.
Yeah, back to the pain, back to the spleen jokes. Yeah, no, my thesaurus is fucking thick, mate. It's good to go.
You're as unpredictable as ever. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. No one saw that coming.
Just quickly, how did you go with week 14? It's a pretty big week in a lot of leagues because it's often either your last week to scrape into a playoff spot or to improve or consolidate your playoff spot. I know one league where you just consolidated your spot. You got the bye in the Astro League, the one that we're in. I missed the playoffs in that one, so my season's over. But any other big leagues that you need to mention?
Yeah, well, with our two guests tonight, I basically had to win my last 4 matches to even be a chance to make it. And luckily enough, I did it. Went from 3-7 to 7-7, and got the other result I needed to make it. So I snuck into 6th in that league. I needed like the miracle of all miracles to make the Kelly Cup finals, but I just missed out. I basically needed like 4 specific people to lose, me to win, and I had to outscore my brother by like 10. It was like I needed like so many different things to happen. It all happened except one of them. One of them, basically Shedeur Sanders screwed me. Like the guy that I needed to lose started him because he basically was in a pinch and he scored like 41 or something in that scoring format. So I just missed out on a complete miracle to get into that. But honestly, outside of that, everything that I was sort of outside chance or like an even chance of making the playoffs in, I got it. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, to be honest.
I ended up coming home with a wet sail and a couple, but mate, so we're going to discover where we talk about our listener leagues. It wasn't all great. So, mate, and I think that's probably a good thing to do is talk to our listener leagues because now we're at a spot now where we've lost almost half the people who joined us in those. At the start of the year, for those who haven't kept up the whole way, we have been so fortunate that we started a listener league and it felt like that. So we had to start a second one and it felt like that. We ended up filling 4 listener leagues. So they're called the gold and the green because, you know, Aussie. And then we also went for blue and red just to make sure we could tell them all apart. Tay, you took the spot in 2 of those leagues. I took our podcast spot in the other 2. I feel like I've disgraced myself. Do you want to talk about how you went first before I bring the mood down?
Yeah, look, I'll talk about the ones I was in. So I'll give the first shout out to the Blue League. They're the guys that I know have been listening to the podcast because there was a while there when I missed a few podcasts in the middle. Obviously, no one on the podcast could actually update the league because no one was in them that could actually talk about it. So, and they let me know actually in the group chat. So it was good to know that they were obviously listening for those sort of updates. And one of our guests that's on tonight's podcast is actually not only in this league, but secured a first round bye. So
rocking it.
We had Fat Watts end up first. He definitely sort of had a slide at the end of the year. He was, like I said, I've brought him up a few times. He's got the most ridiculous points for I think I've ever seen, but he ended up 10-4. So he actually ended up equal with Connor Wilson, who's on our podcast tonight. We'll get to him in a sec, but he won his last 5 matchups and ended up with a first round bye. So he ended up tied, but obviously just behind him in points for. But those two get the first round bye, and then we've got Cooper Maker in 3rd place. At Will Murph 03 in 4th. I'm in 5th, so I'll be playing Will Murph in the first round. And then we've got Team Vangeli Panthers.
They did it.
They did it. They held on to sixth place. So that's the six that are going on to the finals. But again, everyone else who was in that league, thank you so much. Bass Hunter 69, Fiesta Factory, Jerry Rice, and Mix, Nix, and Pitts from Paney 28. So shout out to all you guys for being in the league. That was also the league that basically there was a mutiny fucking halfway through where two guys were actually starting their lineup, and I just said, fuck it, I'm getting rid of these wankers because I couldn't get a hold of them. And then there was a guy who had said, I've got two guys that actually listen to your podcast and are keen to join. So we added those guys in mid-season, and that sort of kept the league competitive.
So the Blue League, all set. Tay, you're in there. And, mate, we'll get to talk to Connor about this, but he has definitely shown that when the rubber meets the road, you can rely on him. How did the Gold League go? This is a hard-fought league. There's some superstars in this league in terms of like folks who've been through our podcast and been engaged with us for a long time.
And speaking of podcast guests, this guy's actually going to be on our podcast next week. So who got first in the Gold League in the regular season? So shout out Mr. Poe, Michael Poe. Finished 12-2, so he was an absolute wagon in this league in the regular season. So he takes first. Our boy Cam, the beanbag man or the ice cream man, or whatever you want to call him, he ends up second.
Bag man.
Congratulations to those two guys for finishing first and second and getting the first round bye. Our boy Kev finished in third. So he'll actually play Seahawk Sam, who finished in sixth. He held off
Seahawk
Courtney in the end. So it was a bit of a tight battle between him and Courtney for that sixth spot. So, but congratulations to Seahawk Sam. And then I finished fifth, and I'm playing Prometheus Rex in the first round. So I said this to you during the year. I kind of felt like I was just like basically even Steven in both of these leagues, and it got weird where it was like 4 weeks to go, and somehow I'd kind of like locked in fourth or fifth in both leagues. So it's felt like a lot of matchups in the last like month have kind of meant nothing because I kind of couldn't go down or up with the way they were set up. So it kind of makes sense that I kind of just plateaued and ended up fifth in both leagues. But in the end, I'm in the finals. That's all I need to be. So let's get cracking. But I'll shout out everyone else in that league. So Courtney Ward, it's been on our podcast. He got seventh. Baudo, obviously been on our podcast as well. He's also in the main sort of league of record for that the guys on tonight's podcasts is in. Vince Mapstone finished in ninth, and Klaus 267 finished in 10th. So thanks guys for being in our first ever listener leagues.
Yeah, thank you. Well done, everyone. I'm going to give a quick update on the Red League here because we were all just living in Randall McSupercob's world. This is Tom, who, if you listen to the Supercoach Half a podcast, also goes by Yarpin and has been leading our listener league of the Supercoach Half a League. There's 300 Supercoaches in that league, and last week he was coming seventh in all of Supercoach, by the way. There's 33,000 players. This guy, serious fantasy player. He's 9-5 in that league, but had the most points by quite a bit. The next most points, it was more than 100 clear of the next most points. And then you have a look down this list, and these guys I've talked about the rest of the way. Team Jai L2, who led early in the season before Tom got his roll on. He had been as far down as fifth or sixth leading into last week, and then bang, all of a sudden got a win. Elevated over a few people he had better points for than. And then there's this bottleneck of 8 and 6s with just a little bit more, which is Elko 93. Dylan Murray's team, Henry and the Hamptons. Delhi's Dream team came in fifth. And then Doddles came in sixth at 7-7. So you can throw a blanket over them all, but really it's probably Tom's World at 9-5. The other guys in that league, though, Team Josh 22, Mock King, which is Rob Syons' team, and then Joseph XHG. That's harder to say than you think. Joining me and being benched, we're all 7-7 or worse. So I'm out in that league. The guys did a great job of boxing me out. I was trying to work trades. No one fucking wanted to bar me because I was already out of the running at that stage, and just if they kept me out, I wasn't going to turn around. So good job, and we're going to get a winner in that league who's going to pick up some merch. And then in the other one, we've got in the Green League, and this has been fantastic. The Green League, they've been a lot of fun. Our overall league winner in that one, or our number one place getter in that league, is Team Joshua, who hang on after having a bit of a battle with Boyd, the medical tent, for a big part of the year. He finishes 10-4 ahead of Boyd, and then we get a bunch of 8 and 6s and 7 and 7s. Team Zydix, Jetters to Holiday, McCaffeinated, and to Infinity and Bijan take up all the wildcard spots with your boy Matty C. 7th. They kept me out as well. Tay, I've disgraced us. And I'm not even going to be allowed in listener leagues next year because our listeners kick my ass.
So it's up to me to actually do the podcast some justice or actually keep our heads above water, mate. So I'll at least try and get to a GF in one of these leagues, mate.
Yeah. Well, I'm also going to just shout out quickly Kevin AU, who's Team J Love Ireland, Getty's Lads, and my mate Tipsy Drew, or Marlborough Reds, which I love that as a team name. They all joined me on the island of the despaired. And look, thank you everyone who's participated in these leagues. The winners of these leagues are all going to score about $100 in cool merch from the AGN merch store. And mate, I'm super excited about it. We've had a lovely time with these guys, and I've been putting pretty mundane and banal little taunts in these leagues and other leagues as well, but certainly every week in these leagues all season long, and they've been fucking giving it to me back in spades, and I'm really, really appreciative. I've had a heap of fun, and I'm hoping this is something we can carry forward into future seasons of the podcast.
Absolutely, mate. Thanks to everyone that's in those leagues, and good luck to everyone that's made the finals.
Yeah. Now, Tay, it has been just the coolest ride these last couple of weeks where we've had, every season we've had 3 chairs on this show. And this is something that we did ever since Manchot came in, was the superfan, became a host on the show for 2 seasons. Last year and this year, we've always had a guest in that 3rd chair. But more recently, we've been having 2 guests. We've been having a 4th chair. And those 2 guests have either had to work together in harmony or try and tear shreds off each other. And sometimes both within a period of just a couple of minutes, just to keep things spicy. You've sourced us a couple of really good lads to come and join us this week. One who's been through the podcast before, but both, you foreskinned pretty heavily about both of these lads through the previous segment. I'll introduce who we've got on the podcast tonight. I'm really keen. Can't wait.
Yeah, look, we scoured the country and we only let the absolute best of the best come onto this podcast, Matty. So you know that. And so I've got 2 very distinguished, very handsome, very great, analysts to come onto this podcast. So we've got Rogan and Connor on tonight. Welcome, boys.
Good to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah.
I'm pretending I didn't hear that, mate, but that's all right.
Thanks for being a wanker. Yeah.
Tay nailed that. That was fantastic.
What an acting job.
Connor, I feel like I was much nicer to you when we introduced you the first time when you came through in the preseason. We were talking running backs. We also talked a bit about the NFC South. We wrote the whole book on the NFC and AFC South while you're with us as well. It's good to have you back, mate. I'm glad we didn't traumatize you too much because you've actually come back willingly, I'm told.
Vaguely. Only a few threats, but that's okay.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, Matty. So
has Taylor abducted your family? Because he's done this before.
Yeah, it's classic Taylor abducting family.
Yeah, he's such a knockabout lad. I know. Thank you so much for coming back, and mate. Amazingly, when we started off the season, I don't know that you're feeling as confident about these things, but being a Panthers fan is a pretty good place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I definitely predicted it. Don't listen to the previous podcast. I definitely didn't predict this to be poor. I knew this was coming.
It's all right. We deleted that tape anyway, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, stunning.
If it helps you, no one listens to us anyway, so it's okay.
No, exactly.
We tell people to download and don't fucking listen. So there you go. Just don't
those listener
download.
Those listener leagues are fake. They're not actually real people.
It's just Taylor who gets paid all of them. This is why.
Yeah.
This is why Taylor makes the playoffs in the leagues he's in, and I don't make the playoffs in the leagues I'm in, because it's just me versus Taylor with different pseudonyms.
Just change the names after the fact.
But Rogan, thank you so much for joining us, even though I'm sure Connor's probably told you how awful it is to come through the podcast and spend time, which I know you don't even like spending time with Taylor in your private life, so why you would want to do that here, I don't quite understand, but you're here, so thank you.
That's all right. Yeah, I made it. I think Taylor bumped me early in the preseason and asked if I wanted to come on, and after a few bribes and compliments and then threats, I am here. So hopefully
that's what I do best.
Something.
He's actually got a real protocol too. It does start with bribes, then it does end up at threats, then it ends up in hostage situations. Like there's a fair thing of a flow chart, mate.
It's a very carrot stick process.
Yeah, that's how I met my wife.
This is sounding vaguely familiar, actually. I think this is going to be one of these things that I end up on a couch talking to a psychiatrist about in the future, I think. And how did you meet Taylor? It'll be like, it would be regression therapy or something to get it out of me.
Yeah, I can't wait for these tapes to get played in a court of law just to get in some sort of civil case against me at some stage.
It's going to happen. But so, Rogan and Connor, you guys, this is the benefit here, is that you guys are going to have to work together, but also you guys got a history together, yeah?
Yeah, unfortunately. No, Connor and I have been pretty close mates for, over a decade now. We went to high school together. And somehow I ended up in the fantasy league, and Taylor puts up with us both. So
Barely.
Surely that's the other way around.
I think it's them. Yeah, I was going to say he's being too kind. I think people putting up with me is probably the other side of that story. But anyway,
yeah. Well, you're a commissioner this season, so I've got to.
Yeah, I know.
Got to suck up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the bribes come from the other way.
But the fun thing, so you guys have clearly, known each other a long time, been in high school together, still, and I think this is an amazing thing, is when you do keep the friendships alive, and adult life gets busy, but one cool thing is then that you've got this wonderful tie to fantasy football that keeps people together. It really does. It's a nice little way to keep communities together. It's a huge part of how I even found fantasy football myself, is that I played American football, and the team I was playing for, I could see the writing was on the wall. We were going to dissolve. We weren't going to have enough people in the future year. And I just got a bunch of us signed up to a fantasy football league, and a heap of us are still in that league now, 15 years on. But it's a way of keeping community together. But this is weird because you guys have actually got like a rivalry in the NFL as well. So it's not just that you put up with each other 10 years on, but you now have this love of NFL, and you actually go for teams who are rivals in the NFL now. Tell us about that.
Rivals is a generous term, because neither of our teams have been all that competitive since we've started supporting them. But it is always a good time when they do play against each other, and we get to watch one touchdown from each team and a field goal. It's
it's been a weird couple of years, because normally both of our teams suck, but Connor's team sucks just a little bit more. So it sort of gives me bragging rights, but things have changed this season, so it doesn't really work anymore.
The tables have turned. Tay, you and I have a very toothless matchup in a South division as well on the other side of the league. So we're very familiar with this, boys, of being like, right, it's the 3-10 Jags versus the 2-11 Titans.
And Matty C and I were brought up in this podcast before, but we met when I first moved to Canberra and started working for Coca-Cola, and then we found out we were obviously Jags and Titans fans, and we for whatever reason, like literally the first year we knew each other, we decided to have this like ongoing bet where whoever wins the two matchups out of the Jags and the Titans, the other person has to give them a 12-pack of beer. And for like, what was it, Matty C? Maybe the first 11 years, I never lost. Like it was either a tie and it was a no bet at all, or I got the beers. And now all of a sudden the Titans are a fucking disaster. And now it's all coming home to roost. Now basically every year I have to factor in 12 beers every single year.
Yeah, because that's what goes around. And this is what comes around, baby.
It's sending me bankrupt every season, Matty C.
I mean, what's been great about it, some years it's been 9-8 versus 8-9, and we're like the week 18 matchup, and it's like we're both going to it going, right, whoever wins this, that's it. Like it's not only going to determine a winning season, but it's also going to determine the 12-pack. But yeah, for ages, if you split it, it's just a draw. But yeah, it's a 6-pack on each game, and you pay up if it's a sweep. So that's how that one works. And mate, it helps keep a toothless rivalry interesting.
And my team's so shit now that I'm at a point where I want my team to lose. Like, they're that bad that they're basically got that many holes in their team that I actually want them to get a high pick each year now. So I have to sit there and think, oh, do I want to have to pay for these beers, or do I actually want the Titans just to lose so they get better draft picks? It's a real fucking Sophie's choice at the end. It's Sophie's choice was just basically shit and shit.
A terrible outcome or a horrible outcome. Yeah.
Exactly.
But Rogan, so I just want to lean into your Saints fanhood just for a sec, because clearly since the Breeze retirement, it hasn't been super easy. But how do you feel? I just want to ask you now about how you feel about your situation with the quarterbacks you've had, because Rattler drafted, he's played some games, Shuck's in there now. I just want to hear from a Saints fan. How do you feel about them, and which do you prefer? Because it's everyone just goes, just fucking bring back Breeze. I don't care if he's 52. Bring him back.
Oh, Philip Rivers is back.
Exactly.
Philip Rivers is back, so there's still hope. There's still hope that Drew will come back to the homeland. No, I'm pretty similar with every Saints fan. I think I've got one foot in each camp, which is that Tyler is either a horrible mistake and should immediately be sacked, or he could be a genuine franchise quarterback. I was a big Rattler fan, but he just didn't really perform. And I never want to see Derek Carr in a dark alleyway ever, because I will go to jail. But other than that, there's a bit of optimism at the moment for a team that I thought was probably going to be terrible for the next decade, but now it might only be half a decade. Yeah.
Been some nice wins.
That's pretty much it.
Been a couple of nice wins, right?
The Panthers, which was great. So
Connor, do you remember that?
we've gone okay.
Are you old enough to
No, I don't remember. The memory goes murky post-Green.
Yeah.
All this happened, Rogan?
I haven't seen any games since then. We didn't play, I don't think. We've been on bye.
I kind of feel like the main question for a Saints fan like yourself, Rogan, is like, because obviously you can say, oh, you kind of like Shark, or you like Rattler, blah, blah, blah. I guess the question is, do you believe they should be taking another quarterback next year in the draft, or do you think Shark deserves another year to be the starter?
I think that I've seen enough I think he's had 5 full starts, or maybe 4. I've seen enough in that shows me that he gets another year. And there's so many holes in this team that quarterback just isn't really what we need to prioritize. Like he's completing at 65% of his passes, or 65%.
Nothing wrong with that.
Rather, like that's great. He's not going to lie.
That's good. That's really good.
But I don't need him to do that right now. So I've seen enough. I prefer not to go quarterback in the draft.
No, I'm with you. I actually brought it up like in his second start. I'm like, I don't know. It's one of those things I had to whisper it on the podcast. I'm like, I don't know if I want my name tagged to this call. It's not something I'm like super like, they're going to plant my flag on. But I don't know. I kind of think he looks fine at this point. Like, especially for a rookie, it's like I feel like people are kind of trying to, grade him super quick because no one really liked where they took him at. So it's like, oh, they've got to get an answer straight away. But I don't know. It's like, even with me, Cam Ward at the moment, I'm like, you kind of just want to see signs of life. It's like they don't need to be this like Jaden Daniels in their first year. Like they just need to show you enough to believe that there's something there. And I think Shuck has done that. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think they should be piecing it together in other places, like kind of like the Titans. There's so many holes all over the team defensively and offensively. There's just so many other places they need to I guess, help.
Yeah, I think the big one for Shuck is that he doesn't have those rookie jitters, or he doesn't seem to have them at the moment. And he's passing the eye test. For the moment, at least. And
because he's old as...
Guys like Stroud. Yeah, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say he's old as fuck as a rookie too, though. But I actually feel like that's not a bad thing at the moment. Like you even saw with like Bo Nix last year, and like some of these older quarterbacks coming out later out of college, they actually seem to be a bit more NFL ready. So I don't know if that's actually a bad thing.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Also, he's only 26. Like,
yeah, I was a bit hyperbolic there.
It's but like no, everyone has that. Everyone says that about him, is that he's old, but he's really not that old. But yeah, I think people are so quick to judge because of guys like Stroud and guys like Daniels that come in their first year and they're MVP candidates. But I feel like they're exceptions that prove the rule that it doesn't happen that often. And look at Stroud now. He's he's dog shit, to be honest.
Hey, you kind of right.
It's come back to bite me later in this podcast, but
It's
a funny one, right?
With a good defense. That's what it is. And sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that's what you need.
Like 2 years ago, Stroud was the reason this team was going to take the next step. And now it's kind of like people look at them and go, is he good enough to lead this awesome defense to like an actual playoff run? It's like he's kind of the reason why people pause now. Whereas 2 years ago, it was like they need to build around him. It's such a massive, dramatic change from 2 years ago. Like he's kind of just lucked into a situation where D'Amico Ryans comes in and just like basically turns this fucking defense into an absolute juggernaut, and he doesn't really have to do much. He could score 17 or 20 points in a game and win.
All right. Because, I mean, that's Darnold, right? Like, Darnold's not a Hall of Famer. He's an amazing defense, and he's efficient enough. Mate, they are, at the moment, if we had to draft tomorrow, they would have the fourth last pick in the first round. They're really good. They're really good. Like, and you wouldn't mind. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind that as a Jags fan. Like, I wouldn't mind if my team could just have a competent enough quarterback. Trevor's probably that. We just need to have enough pieces around him. And mate, there's no shame in it either. Like, you know, the Saints could go that direction. The Panthers are clearly pretty happy with Bryce, and their defense has shown up. So similar sort of things. You don't have to have a Hall of Famer. Like, not everyone's going to find a Brady or a career guy who can play in for 15 years like Stafford or something like that. You just need a guy hang in there for a few years, good defense, just enough pieces around him. He's efficient enough. Like that. That's the Darnold story, right?
Yeah, and he can improve, which is another thing. So
yeah, he's played like 6 games. Yeah, it's very early. The good news though for the Saints, even with that win last week, you haven't completely destroyed things. You still got the 5th overall pick, which if you're not getting a quarterback, you can either get an extraordinarily good player for, or you can trade back and get multiple very good players for. So it's a good spot to be still in that top 5 area.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Mickey Loomis hasn't really filled me with a lot of confidence the last couple of drafts. Even with the shock pick, I didn't like it. I hated it, actually. But, you know, I've been proven wrong. I think trading back is probably the option now, and trying to fill some of those gaps, of which there are many. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, I suppose.
Connor, you're feeling much better about your Panthers, though. I mean, gee, they're sitting right there with they've got a winning record at the moment. Like, you'd be feeling pretty happy about how they're sitting because they're right in the sniff of a playoff race, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a deeply confusing season. I think is the best way to put it. We've looked awesome against good teams. We've looked absolutely awful against bad teams, like the losses to Arizona and Rogan's Saints kind of stand out. But look, we're much better than I thought we'd be, and I am actually excited to watch games, which is an odd feeling. It's usually a bit of a chore, a bit of a punish to get through Panthers games, but at the moment I'm excited. The Tet pick looks to have paid off dividends.
Ooh, yeah.
He's the offensive rookie of the year in my mind, without question. And it looks like our defense is turned around from what was the worst defense ever last year. We're serviceable, which is crazy.
That's all you need. And Bryce is looking like a grown-up back there most of the time.
Most of the time. He doesn't look like a grown-up. He is playing like a grown-up.
And I'm not sold you can see him behind there.
He can't see you. He's never seen a D lineman in his life.
He's seen the ass of his offensive line. That's about it.
The cool thing about the Panthers too is that so their run home starts with a matchup against New Orleans. We'll talk about that one in more depth on the Sunday show, but it's kind of one of the tasty things about when you've got a rivalry with a mate who's in the same division. It's you clash heads a bit at the pointy end of the year, and we'll get into that in the Sunday show. Fellas, what we want to do is, while we've got you both here and we're talking football, we do 2 segments on the Friday show that are a bunch of fun. One, I want to draw you on some breakout players for week 15. This is the first week of the fantasy playoffs in most formats because we hate playing in week 18. Everybody, if you are in a fantasy league that plays week 18, clobber your commissioner. And also because, it's just a heck of a lot of fun to talk about players who we expect to outperform what they might usually you might usually expect for them. And then later in the show too, we're going to play a segment that is sweeping Australia, taking the hearts of the nation. We're going to play some Tipping Point, in which Taylor is mounting a comeback. Looking forward to that. So you ready to dive in, lads?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
G'day, Gridiron.
Anyone that hasn't joined us before, it's pretty simple. Let's kick it off, eh? Is everyone ready?
The four horsemen of NFL in Australia.
If the sound ever plays, the pick is officially in.
Nick the lineman.
So it's the worst against any team, and it's also the worst passer rating that he has against any team at 66.3.
Brad the coach.
The Steelers have held the Ravens under 20 points in 7 straight games.
Isaac the analyst.
For this one, I couldn't understand it either. Like, I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Ian the Viking.
Full of passion, full of fight. They might genuinely be interesting to watch again.
Previews, overreactions, and bloody best bets.
If Derrick Henry can get rolling, then I think it's no contest. The Ravens are going to win.
As a fan of the NFL, you hope he comes back because he's just an absolute beast when he gets on there.
That would be able to give, at least Justin Fields a chance to be able to build.
Let's move on after that insanity.
So I just think, though, it's going to stop here.
Defensively for the Bills, I don't think that's actually going to combat what the Chiefs do already.
Yeah, I guarantee Pete would get down on his knees for that.
G'day, Gridiron.
I love spreadsheets. I'm a spreadsheet man.
I love spreading the legs.
Twice a week, all season long on the Aussie Gridiron Network.
Come on. So the breakouts, what we're looking for is a player from each position, a quarterback, a running back, a tight end, a wide receiver, who we just think is going to sort of, for whatever reason, kind of blow the doors off what you might usually expect for them. Doesn't matter if they're a kind of middling sort of starter flex consideration, a guy who might even not really be on people's radars, or even if it's near the tippy top of a position if we think they're going to really blow our minds with their scoring. And I like to start with our guests first, so Taylor doesn't shark everyone's good ideas. Rogan, I'm going to start with you, mate. I want to hear, pick anywhere on this list, whether it's your quarterback, your running back, your wide receiver, your tight end. Which of the players that you dragged up for this do you think is the best, the one that you're the most strident on to have a really great week 15, and why?
I am going to go with Jameson Williams from the Detroit Lions up against the Rams. Now, it's a pretty obvious pick. He is projected to have some big scores this week off a big week last week. He had a career high in yards last week. His targets are trending up. His activity is trending up. He's been building momentum for the last couple of weeks since DC took over the play calling. The other aspect that I don't think is talked about is Amon-Ra St. Brown is not 100%. Now, he played last week, but he has come out and said that he's not 100%. That ankle sprain it's not good. That thing's going to take a couple of weeks. He's one of those guys that will play every week no matter what. He will play unless his foot is cut off, and that's what you want in your number one wide receiver. But he's not going to be able to handle the same volume, which means that Jay will get some of that volume, and they're playing the Rams. I'm looking for a shootout. I'm looking for high points. I'm looking for multiple touchdowns and over 100 yards.
Multiple touchdowns. So we did this thing here where if you are pretty sure they're going to get a touchdown, we go, ring the bell for a touchdown guarantee. If they're going to get 2, say, what do we do?
We fucking bring out the air horn.
Oh, I love it. 2 touchdowns guaranteed, plus a whole bunch of yardage by the center for JMO. We love JMO too, because you can give it to him in short areas, and he's just so fast. And it's kind of the danger to take a 0-yard pass, 65 yards for a touchdown. Oh, I love it. 2 touchdowns. Let's blow the air horn on that one. Hey, Connor, you got a wide receiver who you think's going to just really smack us silly this week?
I do, and he's actually on the other end of that matchup. I do have Davante Adams, the red zone target himself, the main man. He is averaging an absurd amount of red zone targets. He actually has 10 more than any other wide receiver, and I think he's going to get a stack of them in this game because this LA offense just walks up the field every time they have the ball. They're a machine. They're the best offense in the league at the moment, and I think Davante Adams is ripe for a touchdown or 2.
Ooh, touchdown or 2? Because this matters. This depends on if it's 1 or it's 2, you get a different sound effect, mate. So I need to nail you down on this one.
Mate, he's getting 2.
Oh, come on. They're just gonna love hearing the air horn in the background, mate. It's it warms the cockles of your heart. Tay, you are gonna I'm pretty sure I heard a like thunk underneath the dashboard of your car as your erection grew when you heard Davante Adams there with all the touchdowns, mate. Because you made a bit of a bold call about Davante Adams at the start of the year.
I did. My sort of biggest bold take this year, sort of when I was going through the analysis, and like a lot of people in fantasy were worried about Puka and Adams because of each other. And I basically thought they would both be top 12 wide receivers in fantasy because I thought Puka would get all the volume and I thought Adams would get all the touchdowns. And so I thought, I wondered what the odds were for Adams to be the leading touchdown getter in all of the NFL because he's not even the one technically on his team. And I think he was like 26-1 or something to be the player to lead the league in touchdowns. And it was my biggest bold call of the year. And it's worked out pretty damn good. They just basically used Davante Adams as a fucking, like, he's basically the goal line running back of the wide receiver position. Like especially when they're 1 or 2 yards out, it used to be all Kyer, and now all of a sudden Davante Adams can make his defender miss in like 1 yard of space. He's just so good. Most ridiculous route runner out there. Like he's just so good. Like that's why fucking him and Rodgers had such a good connection for so long. And I laughed because my wide receiver is Davante Adams and I had him for 2 touchdowns against the Lions. Position. So yeah, we're all targeting that game because, like Rogan said, I just think it is going to be a shootout, and the Rams just seem to be able to move the ball on everyone. And the Lions, the only place they seem to be actually pretty good at defending is the running back position. So teams seem to be able to throw pretty easily on the Lions. So yeah, I just think it's going to be all done in the air from the Rams, and then on the other side, obviously the Lions are going to have to keep up with the Rams. So it should be a high scoring game.
Fantasy heaven, mana from heaven, to be honest. Davante Adams, and I love this, Connor. You really brought a great stat here to say that Davante Adams has so many more red zone targets than even second place. And the number is like 24 red zone targets. Second is Amon-Ra with 13. So they're both in this game, which is amazing. But when you distill it down to goal-to-go targets, Davante Adams has 16, second place. And I find this amazing considering he hasn't played all season. Rashee Rice. So just write that one down. If you're playing against Rashee Rice, shoot yourself a little bit. But no, it's amazing about Davante Adams. And Tay, you've been so on the money with that call this year. And someone's going to build a fucking statue of you. It'll take a bit of copper, but they'll do it when Davante Adams finishes this year with the most touchdowns. Because you called that as well. You said he's going to end up with the most wide receiver touchdowns this year, and he is not disappointing. I want to stick with you, Connor, though. Have you got a running back, a tight end, or a quarterback that you want to run with for your breakout this week, mate?
Yeah, I am enjoying kind of the other game of the year for this week, the Patriots at Buffalo, and I think Travion Henderson is due to have a good game. I think Buffalo have been pretty awful against the run. They're 6 conceding fantasy points against running backs, and I think Travion Henderson is due to off the bye have a pretty good workload, and I think they're going to run all over them, and I think it'll be a good game and a good proof of concept for the Patriots for this season, whether they're legit or not.
Oh, so you're not scared about the Stevenson thing?
I've never been scared of Ramondre Stevenson, especially not when he's playing against me in fantasy.
So if he had a knife, would he be scary? Like, what does it take for Ramondre to become scary to you? Because, I mean,
I reckon I'm faster than him. I think I'm faster than Ramondre Stevenson.
That's it. Doesn't matter what he's got. I can outrun him. So there you go. So bowl, because this is the thing, right? Henderson played remarkably well when there was no Stevenson. Stevenson's back. He's eaten to Hendo's role, but we can clearly see. We can see Henderson's the better back. What do you think he's going to produce this game? You reckon you got some yardage, some fantasy points, some touchdowns? What do you want to put your stake on to show?
I'm seeing him cracking 100 yards. 100 yards rushing and a touchdown for Mr. Travion Henderson.
Touchdown guarantee. Ring the bell. I love that. 100 yards, touchdown. So there's a minimum of 16 fantasy points in that, and you love that. Anyone would love 16 from their running back before they've even caught a pass. So I love that. Hey, Rogan, you got a running back for us?
Yes, I do have a running back. I've got Travis Etienne against the Jets.
My heart.
There's a bit of science behind this. New York, last time I checked, are giving up the second most points to the running back position in fantasy. He also had the equal highest snaps that he has had this season last week, which was 72% of snaps. He is also, just quietly, the running back 11 on the season.
Don't tell everyone.
Bayshal Tootin, couple of fumbles last week. He had that issue in college. I just think Etienne is going to get all of the snaps, and I think the Jags going to dominate the Jets on the ground.
It's the place to beat the Jets up to. It really is. And mate, wow, I love that. Don't tell everyone that Etienne's 11 on the year, because mate, in a lot of drafts you could have got him in the 7th or 8th round, and he was legit starting back. He hasn't always had a great week every single week of the year, and we know that to be true of him. But then when you go, he's a fringe running back 1, people kind of freak out. So yeah, I love the call. Tay, how do you feel about these 2 running backs? You've got Hendo at Buffalo with 100 yards and a touchdown. We've got Etienne at the Jets. I'll get a line out of Rogan in a sec, but how are you feeling about these 2 out of the gate?
Well, Matty C, I feel like we're in simpatico a little bit, because I've got a daily double at the running back position, and one of them's Travis Etienne. So that's why I kind of laughed when Rogan brought him up, because I've paired up with Connor at wide receiver, and one of my 2 that I brought up at running back is actually Travis Etienne as well. So yeah, I hate the call, mate. It's obviously terrible.
Yeah, gross. Rogan, have you got a line, either yards, touchdowns, fantasy points? But what do you think Etienne's going to do to prove his worth?
I went pretty aggressive before, so I'm going to go pretty conservative. I just like Travis for just the 1 touchdown at least.
Get him a touchdown. We love a touchdown guarantee. And as you say, he's going to get a lot of the volume. Let's do that. Tay, he's part of your daily double. It's not Hendo as your other part of the daily double, is it? Come on.
No, not quite. We didn't quite, pair up there. I'll just, like Rogan said it best with Travis Etienne. I will say, even with the Jets, their item is 3rd last, 2nd last, whatever at the position, but I think they've actually been the worst. They've actually been the worst since the trade deadline, because they got rid of Quinton Williams, their literal best rush stopper. So they sent him over to the Cowboys, and since they've just been getting absolutely torched on the ground. So yeah, I just felt like Travis Etienne was in for a good game. He talked about Bayshal Tootin, and he's basically farting his way to the fucking bench. So he's just dropping shit left, right, and center. So yeah, I just think Travis Etienne's only going to get more and more snaps moving forward, and I feel like this was one of the best matchups he could possibly be against. But I paired him with someone who isn't actually being started all over the place. I just really like his situation. The guy's kind of sharing time with under an injury cloud as well. I've got Woody Marks up against the Cardinals, who are 29th against the running back position, and it was more about what I sort of saw last week. Woody Marks was being used a lot in the red zone. He obviously caught the touchdown. Nick Chubb, like I just mentioned, is under a bit of an injury cloud, so even if he does play, he's probably going to get nowhere near the 50-50 split we've seen other weeks. The Cardinals are just getting torched on the ground. It's just the place that they get hurt the most. So I just think the Texans, with their defense, they're just going to lead a lot in this game, and they're just going to lean on the run. I don't think they're going to need to pass a whole lot in this game. So yeah, I just really like Woody Marks in this specific matchup. So sort of went one a bit higher and one a bit more medium for my daily double. And what I've done is I've sort of got 3 different things, or 3 different aspects. I think they're both a top 10 running back this week. I think they both get a touchdown, and I think they both have 80 yards on the ground.
Woo! So, if they're both getting a touchdown, it's not a touchdown guarantee. That's a double touchdown guarantee. So 2 touchdowns. Okay, man, 80 yards. So there's at least 14 points in them. They're going to catch balls, and mate, it's at least 80 yards. So yeah, we're talking plenty of upside there. Top 10 running backs probably puts them in the 20-point range, to be honest. So there's going to be some pass catching. There's going to be more than 80 yards, or there may even be multiple touchdowns for an individual back in that. And it does dovetail in nicely with Rogan talking about how he believes that the Jets are just, you can just run Etienne into him all day. He looks great. Whatever was hampering him last year looks to be gone. And the Jags are definitely trusting him. And where they can, they want to run the ball as much as they can. And look, Henderson with 100 yards and a touchdown. We love that for the running backs. Tay, I'm going to go to you. Do you have a quarterback or a tight end that you want to lean on this week?
I'm going to give you 2 guys technically at tight end, but it's actually in the same team, and it's just because I'm targeting a specific matchup, and I actually want to go into the numbers on that team defending this position. So I want to go to tight end, and I'm going to take Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, because I don't know if there's ever been a worse team at defending the tight end in the history of football. And I know we have brought up some bad ones. I know we talked about the Raiders not being horrendous since 1971 or whatever it was a couple of weeks ago. We talked about Arizona being bad. I don't know what name we give the fucking Bengals, but this is an absolute disaster. I know they're bad technically at defending everything, but the tight end is I don't even have words for it. They are so unbelievably shit. They just decide never to fucking guard the middle. They just let everyone run free. I think it was with the Bills last week where literally their top two pass catchers were tight ends and then a third caught a touchdown. They just don't give a rat's ass about the middle of the field. And here's some stats for it. The Bengals have given up 15 touchdowns to the tight end position. Next highest is 9. 9. So they've almost doubled the second worst tight end defense in the league. So what I've basically done is it's hard sometimes to sort of pick exactly who's going to have the touchdown out of Likely and Andrews, but I'm saying they both have one. I actually think they both get one this week. I was going to just say they combined for 2. I guess we could technically say that, but I don't know. I just think they're both going to be. I think they're both startable this week against the Bengals because they're just so bad at defending the position.
Mate, and Likely was one step away from having a second touchdown late in that game, and if he did, I would just rinse the shite out of everybody even more in the starts of the week last week, and so I was rooting for it, but I didn't need it. But mate, there's just something about Likely is either rocks or diamonds, but Andrews, who's now a bit extended, so they're saying you're a part of what we're doing going forward. He's only 30 as well, which is not the oldest for tight end. Tight ends kind of seem to have just a little bit longer shelf life than wide receivers because it's not so predicated on speed. So I kind of trust the Andrews thing, but if you're after the flush in the pan, then I like the Likely thing. So the idea that you can do both, man, I'm kind of down with that. I've definitely been in leagues this year with enough flexes that I've had to run a tight end and 2. In one league, I even ran 3 flex tight ends. So it's happened. It has happened before.
The easier way out for me is to take 2 combined, but I actually think the point of what I'm saying is that they're both startable. So I think I'm going to take them both to get a touchdown just because it's sort of the idea of what I'm doing here. Because if I say, they combined for 2 and one of them has 2, one of them has none, then one of them becomes shit. So it's I think the idea is that I just think everyone, literally any fucking touchdown, any tight end in this league is viable against the Bengals. So I just wanted to sort of make that my call. So I'm going to say they both score a touchdown.
So, do you want to wrap Charlie Kohler in there as well? I mean, just about fucking.
Yeah, honestly, I was considering it. If you're in a super fucking deep league, honestly, I would not be surprised if Kohler scored a touchdown in this game. It was who I can't even remember the guy's name for fucking the Bills that scored. Do you remember his name? It was the third string tight end scored.
He's actually his family need a program to remember his name. He comes home for Thanksgiving who the fuck are you? The same as us, mate. So he's anonymous.
And I'm pretty sure it was a play after Dawson Knox scored and then it got ruled not a touchdown. So it was basically one
bring
time
Knox off to give him a bit of Gatorade and then just send in some chump for special teams to get his touchdown. You motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I'm gropable about that. Charlie Kohler, just keep him as a sneaky anytime touchdown for your bloody best bets. That's right, G'day Gridiron. We're helping you there. I want to go to Rogan. Mate, have you got a tight end that we can guarantee a little bit of love out of this week? I love tight ends for fantasy, by the way. I know it's a barren position, people say, but
always love it.
I love when we give the tight end some love.
This is going to be a little bit awkward, and it is low-hanging fruit. But I've got Isaiah Likely against the Bengals.
This is awesome.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, everything that Taylor said. The Bengals are they give up everything to the tight end position. They'd probably their house, their wife, their children to the tight end position if they could. I'd also like to point out that Likely should probably have another 2 to 3 touchdowns on the season. You mentioned the one, Matty, that he stepped out. He's had another couple of drops. He's had
one he fumbled going over the line 2 weeks ago into the fucking Bengals. Do you remember that when he was over the line? Yeah. And they're like, nah, you dropped it before. He's like, fuck!
Yeah, and I think he's outpacing Mandrews for targets, and he was definitely the more efficient tight end last week. So I think they'll probably go to him. There's always a risk it could go to Mandrews as well. But, yeah, I've got Likely this week.
He's so much fun, Likely. He was the riskiest fucking start for starts of the week. Mate, as Taylor says, he reckons you'll have a touchdown. You in on the touchdown? You in for multiple touchdowns? You in for yards? What are you in for?
I'll go just the one touchdown. Again, I'll be a bit conservative.
And there's no problems with that because a touchdown helps the tight end so much. But a guy like Likely too, if he's having a day, what do you end up with? It's like 7 catches for like 95 yards and this touchdown or whatever. He was eating it up. It's pretty fantastic. The tight end position for you, Connor, where are you going, mate? If you say Likely, I'm just going to shit myself. Evacuate my pants.
Look, Likely is exciting, and Cincinnati are awful. But I have lent into someone who had a bit of a look. He's broken out in quotations a couple of times this season. But last game, tight end Harold Fannin.
He's fucking good, man.
Played unreal. He since Shedeur has become the starter, he leads the league leads his team in target share. They've got injuries to all their pass catchers basically, so he's kind of the only one there to throw to. Shedeur has spoken about being a trust guy when it comes to his targets, and it seems like Harold Fannin has earned that trust. And Chicago are pretty middling when it comes to stopping the tight end. They're fine. They're not great. He's going to catch a lot of passes, and I'd guarantee him a top 5 tight end PPR finish.
Oh, top 5. I love that. And at Chicago, who are not a terrifying defense. They're not bad, but they're not terrifying, right? Like, are you scared going in a Soldier Field for fantasy with a tight end? I'm not.
Fuck no. I'll answer that.
No, I reckon the only team who should be terrified about going in there for tight ends is, like, I don't know. Do the Titans have a tight end, Tate? Do you have one?
Mate, the disrespect to Gunnar Helm, mate. Look,
Gunnar Helm. I was going to say, is that who?
Or Chig
is fucking dead to me, by the way.
Chiggy Bang Bang.
Why are we not talking about Chig?
Chig can get fucked. He burnt me at times this year.
Mate, you've clearly never played my career where you're the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, because Chig becomes Gronk, basically.
Speaking of Fannin, Matty C, I remember I sort of briefly brought him up on the Supercoach pod that we recorded this morning, and I was like, I've got this weird feeling that I want to actually trade Tyler Warren for him just with everything that's going on with the Colts. And I was like, in the end, I just don't think it's worth a trade when we're all running out of trades and stuff in that format. But what I have done is I've got a must-win playoff game in another league this week, and I have Warren as my starter, and Fannin is on waivers. So I actually spent $16 of fab to get Fannin, and I'm starting Fannin over Warren this week. I honestly am super keen on him. I just think it's not even just Sanders. There's just something about him. Like, if you go through the log with Sanders, he's always leading the targets, yes. But honestly, any game when Njoku just isn't like fully healthy or whatever, like Fannin just eats. And then honestly, he's just sort of usurped him now anyway. Like, they're obviously thinking of the future there at Cleveland, and he's just getting way more snaps than him. And yeah, it's hard to always trust Cleveland in their passing game, but Fannin seems to be just the constant there. So. Yeah. I do trust it this week. And to be fair, as soon as you trust a tight end, that's normally when they fuck you. That's just their position. That's the way that they do it. But yeah, no, I'm with Connor here. I reckon it's a great call.
They're only allowed to be 3 good tight ends at a time. And fuck me if Fannin isn't on the edge of that. Oh my fucking God. He is so close. And I mean, yeah.
And watch one of them be Charlie Collar.
Now that we've brought his name up, it's going to happen. I think we are going to manifest this. We are down to a quarterback each. I want to go to you, Rogan. Do you have a quarterback who we're going to see break out for Week 15 when people need it? This is the fantasy fucking playoffs. We need a big quarterback day. Who are you looking at?
Yeah, this is a bit awkward because of a comment I made earlier in the podcast. But I've got CJ Stroud.
Tell me about it. Tell me where he touched you. Show me on the doll.
Look, it's partially vibe based. I think coming back into the team, he wants to prove himself a little bit. But the Cardinals' defense is a bit inconsistent when they play away. And Houston's defense, as we all know, is dominant. They're elite. CJ's going to have the ball a lot. I think they might give him a little bit of a rope, which he could just as easily hang himself with. But I think he might throw the ball a little bit more and throw 2 touchdowns in this game.
We love that because there's likely to be yards. We like that. But I also think, just real quick, Rogan, on this one, and I mention this when it comes up, is that when you've got a West Coast team traveling east and playing in the early window, the 5 a.m. game, and it is cross-conference. They don't see this team except for every 4 years, and now every 8th year they've got to come across to play Houston, but they do it in the early window. The Cardinals rarely play in the early window any time of year, so coming across east to do that against a team that I don't see very often, I think there's some real rubber in that, and I just like the call because you see the home team really eat on that quite a lot. You see these good West Coast teams go east and battle with the early time zone against teams they don't see often.
I thought their offense looked okay against the Chiefs last week. Nico had a good game. I think they're...
And about time, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've been waiting for Nico. Yeah, no, I like the call. Connor, you got a quarterback where you can rely on?
Look, I'm going to go a bit funny here, just because I think someone has to say something silly, and I'm going for the man 9 himself.
Yes.
JJ McCarthy.
He's going for it. Oh, yes.
Against the Dallas Cowboys, because frankly, Dallas just suck at defending anyone. Obviously, they've shored up their run defense a little bit. JJ McCarthy showed a flash last week, and I'm back in. I'm back in too. I'm back in on 9. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to throw a couple of touchdowns, and I think they're going to be in a really competitive game. I think that they're going to throw some pretty interesting defensive looks out there. I think McCarthy's going to have a chance to keep it close, and I think he's going to take that chance.
He's going to throw some touchdowns. 2, 3?
Look, let's not get silly here. He's going to throw 2 touchdowns.
It's Dallas, mate.
I'm not putting my name to 3.
This isn't the fucking Seahawks. It's Dallas.
And I'm very aware that this is still JJ McCarthy, all right? Let's temper the expectations.
It's all relative.
I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to continue to be a startable quarterback, both in real life and in fantasy. But he's not going to set the world on fire. We're talking about breakout, and it's all relative, right?
It is, and I think in a superflex, this is a seriously important thing. Is right. Like there have been times where you don't know if you can trust McCarthy as your 2. You're saying fucking bulletproof as your 2 because this is a great matchup for quarterbacks. Tay, you've waxed lyrical about this all year, and I should probably pass the mic over to you for analysis for passing game or anything against Dallas because you've definitely got the songbook down. And I like McCarthy. He has had to play his first 2 games in the NFL were both primetime games on the road against big-time opponents. Then he was hurt. And for him to come back has not been easy. And I like now that he immediately comes back last week and puts up a nice game. Now he's in primetime again against a shit defense. This is a chance for him to really show that he belongs. And I back he belongs. I'm big on him in fantasy. I don't care if they win games or not. I believe in the Kevin O'Connell thing. And I believe that Dallas are fucking awful. But Tay, I'm saying in very paraphrased ways, things that you say in much more detail and better.
I shit you not, if I was taking a second quarterback, he would have been the second one. Like I was so close to going for it as well. I have multiple Superflex leagues where he was still on waivers. He's been that shit. And I picked him up in both. I even have another one where for whatever the fuck reason, I already had him just because he was like the only service, like literal starter that hadn't been picked up last week. So I picked him up just to have him on my bench. And now I had a decision where I actually was going to start him, but funnily enough, the other guy that I was picking between is actually my pick for a breakout quarterback. So he won't be starting in that league, but I'm still kind of glad I've got him just playing keep away from other teams this week because I actually think he's going to be a very good start against that Cowboys team because they can't fucking stop anything. Well,
Can't stop
funny
a wet fart
enough,
through a
they
tissue.
actually can stop. They can actually stop the run now, that's what's funny. It's kind of making them even bigger, like even more of a pass funnel, because since they went and got Quinn and Williams and some other sort of rush stoppers at the trade deadline, they've actually become even worse, it feels like, against the pass, because they can actually defend one spot of the field better now. So, yeah, I love the call, because I just don't think the defense is scary at all. And I think Dallas, even though Minnesota have a very good defense, I think Dallas at home will put up points. So they're going to need to score to keep up. So I think it's going to have to be all of McCarthy.
Boom. Well, and if you've got McCarthy in there, who's you said he would be your second one. What are you doing for quarterback?
Yep. I'm going Jackson Dart up against the Commanders. They're 29th against quarterback, and just pretty much every game Jackson Dart started, he's actually been great. And the good thing about him is he has absolutely no fucking regard for his body. So he's going to get that extra 2-3 yards rushing in any moment. Yes, he is a risk at getting a concussion at any moment. He may even be concussed right now. I know Cam Scatterboo probably is. So I don't know if it's amazing in terms of hoping he plays out the entire game. But I do think against this Commanders team, who I think they're out of contention, I don't think they're going to be able to put up much of a fight. Even though the Giants have just sort of grabbed back number one pick, I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game. And I do think you're going to see a very, very good game out of Jackson Dart. I've actually got him as a top 4 quarterback this week. I've got him for 3 touchdowns, with at least one of them being a rushing touchdown.
Woo! So pretty specific here. Sorry, and you said top 4 quarterback?
Top 4. Yeah, let's go.
Woo. Trying to write as quickly as I could, but you started just riffing there. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And the thing I like about Dart is he's a maniac. The guy, he and Scatterbo, I think, are probably going to spend half of their careers questionable. That's what I think is going to happen with them. But the second you know they're on the field,
adjustment.
Yes, and you won't be able to turn that switch off. That's who they are. But it also means you're going to spend half their careers iffy and playing with the fucking stapled on shoulder and shit like that. It's just, they're going to be so hard to watch, but the second they're on the field, you're going to get everything. They're going to give you everything.
My favorite comment about Dart and Scatterboo is I don't think they're ever going to be able to fail an HIA, because I think that their baseline answers are so fucked that you could have 3 concussions and you actually would still beat the answers they gave to those questions before the game. It's like they are just walking around with concussion at all times. So they can't actually prove that they have one because they're constantly concussed. So yeah, I feel like there's going to be a chance that they could literally almost lose their head and they'll probably still pass a concussion test.
This feels like the Billy Bob thing of no, you can't ask him how many fingers. It has to be, am I holding fingers up, true or false? I feel like that's how they get a link.
As a coach says, it's normal to bleed from the ears.
Sorry, I'm due to watch Varsity Blues again. It's been a while.
Fuck, we were definitely thinking of something different. When you said it, I was thinking of the dude off Not Another Teen Movie, how it keeps counting down every concussion he gets.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's just modelled off the Varsity Blues Billy Bob guy who's coach says I've had a concussion. Yeah. It's he's 100%. There's a moment where he has the late concussion and he's got to get up and catch a hook and ladder or something like that. And it's he's trying to hide his concussion symptoms. So it's like
that. Are these references for old people? Or are these black and white?
I'm so lost.
Movies?
I'm so lost. What year are we talking about?
I don't know what we're talking about.
Ooh. When it was Not Another
Charlie
Teen
Chaplin
Movie,
films?
probably I'm going to guess 2005 maybe.
I was still watching Teletubbies, man.
I was on the Ninja Turtles.
Well, who isn't?
Fuck no.
I'm old enough. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were new in my lifetime. That's bad. But the star of Varsity Blues, you guys are going to fucking hate this, is the guy who played Dawson from Dawson's Creek. So he was a teenager.
They might not even know all fucking Dawson's Creek.
It's my fucking age. This movie's 30 years old.
Who is Dawson
Jesus.
and where is his creek?
Yeah, well, that's the mystery.
And
that's a mystery.
Is there any relation to Dawson Knox?
If he plays against the Bengals, he's going to dominate.
He's from the Northeast. Aren't they from Massachusetts or something? Tay, you're going to have to tell me. Did you watch any Dawson's Creek? I don't know.
I watched some of it, but I think we're losing every fucking listener by even talking about this. So I think we should probably move on.
We're going to park this and move it to our Dawson's Creek podcast. Okay, we'll pick this up over there. Back to the creek with Matty and Taylor. Wow. Okay, I'm going to run through this because there's a bit to get through and we want to get tipping point done before we lose everybody on the Friday show. Let's start our breakouts at our wide receiver. Rogan wants Jamo versus the Rams for 2 touchdowns. We love that. And then Taylor and Connor, it's simpatico. These two are just singing from the same song sheet here. 2 touchdowns for Davante Adams in the same game against Detroit. I love this. That's going to be so much fun if there's just touchdowns galore in that one. We went to our running backs next. We saw Connor wants Travion Henderson at Buffalo, 110 yards and a touchdown. Ring the bell. Also, Travis Etienne versus the Jets. Connor wants a touchdown. Ring the bell there. Taylor wants a touchdown too. In fact, he wants a touchdown for Travis Etienne. He also wants a touchdown for Woody Marks. He reckons they're both going to get at least 80 yards on the ground and both be top 10 running backs. So go and put them in your lineups. We move to our tight ends next. Tay, man, he wanted every tight end there is in a Baltimore jersey. He wants Likely. He wants Andrews. Touchdown each against Cincinnati. Don't rule out Charlie Kolar. Go and throw a dollar on him. You might go and make yourself enough to get a Subway for that.
Who's the tight end for?
He's a tight end 4 on the week. And then Harold Fannin against Chicago as a top 5 tight end. And, I mean, look, Rogan was all about the Isaiah Likely as well. We've got to say this. Isaiah Likely at Cincinnati, if he doesn't get a touchdown, it's probably because his shoes one size too big, like it was in Kansas City. He fumbles the ball an eighth of a yard out, or he just doesn't take enough steps in the end zone. One of those weird things is going to happen, or something similarly weird. They are our breakouts for the running back, the wide receiver, the tight end, the quarterbacks. CJ Stroud at Arizona, 2 touchdowns. JJ McCarthy at Dallas, 2 touchdowns. Couldn't get a third. Still thinking about the third. What if he does? I just want a touchdown to fucking Justin Jefferson. Is that too much to ask? And then Jackson Dart, 3 touchdowns. Yes. One of them's going to be rushing. He's going to be a top 4 quarterback at Washington. Versus Washington, because Washington are arse. That is currently the team with the number 1 pick versus a team with the number 6 pick. That is the arse water bowl right there. And I think Jackson Dart only plays at 1 speed. 11 out of 10. They're our breakouts for week 15. And fellas, now that I've done all that and I'm out of breath, I'm going to need a minute to play the tipping point theme so we can get into the segment that is taking Australia's heart by storm. It is time for the tipping point. Tay, this segment looked like it had run away from you in the weeks that Kevin and Ian were due to look out for you. They went 0-3. If you erased their weeks, this would be a different segment. Currently, the world lead 8-4 leading into 8-5 leading into this week. Mate, you got the business done. It is 8-6. In fact, if you didn't have the 0-3 from Kev and Ian, you'd be leading this 6-5.
I know, fuck those guys. They really did me a disservice. But look, like I said to Kev on the podcast last week, he set up a grandstand finish. I need to win the last 3 weeks to take this segment down, so I'm not going to let fucking Rogan and Connor stand in my way. Let's go.
You need to win 7 of the last 8 weeks or something absurd like that. And you're still in the game.
I'm still alive.
Fucking hell. Got off to a great start last week too because you got great results from Mahomes went under, World took over. Rashee Rice went under, World took over. You were very vocal on numerous podcasts last week about Mahomes and Rice against Houston, and it came up big time for you in this segment. You also took Ashton Gianti on the over of 14.6. That one didn't come up for you, but thank goodness Trey McBride didn't get over 22 points because he was nowhere near 22 points. His projection was 17.5, and thank goodness because that was enough to get you home. And then Jonathan Taylor did not score 20 points or more against the Jags either, who weirdly are the league's leading rushing yards defense. I don't quite make sense of that. But anyway, you win the segment 4-1, and it brings you to 8-6. So this week, last week I kind of went young and on the road. This week, I just kind of went for people who I thought were compelling who aren't in the tippy top of their position. These are all guys who are ranked between 16 and 37 at their position. These are kind of like your flex guys, or maybe worse, but also some of them are guys who have missed time and are probably more fixed in your mind than their position on the year would indicate, right? Because if they've missed time, they've had weeks where other people are scoring, they're not. So it makes them tough to measure. With our world guys for this segment, we've got Connor and Rogan on this one. You guys kind of have to work together on this, and whether it's by conferring live or whether it's by just alternating who gets to have a go against Taylor on this one, you guys have to work together. However you do it, by hook or by crook, even if it's in Messenger in the background and we don't get to see it. But I'm going to list 5 players: a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end, and then a 5th player, a mystery meat at a position you don't get to know about yet. All makes sense?
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know how you guys can manage this. I'm hoping that you guys have got a system of hand signals, or you look like, I don't know, base runner coaches in baseball and you're doing all those fucking signals like Monty Burns when he owned the the Springfield Isotopes or whatever. I'm looking forward to it.
I probably don't even know
players who are interesting. Simpsons. We haven't done enough Simpsons.
Argue.
I hope you do. Chaos is good for radio.
Yeah, I don't know how young or old you have to be to know Simpsons references. Especially as well as we probably know them.
It's a question.
There you go.
How well?
You're either a Simpsons household or you're not a Simpsons household, and I did not grow up in a Simpsons household.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
No, isotopes.
See, I'm used to this by now, Matty C, because I'm the oldest cunt in the world in that group chat, so I had to kind of get used to it.
I'm not that, but I'm like 7 years older than you. These people, these children that you brought on the podcast look at me like, all right, Unc.
Yeah.
Grand Unc.
I know, you are Grand Unc. I feel it's awesome actually being near someone that's like not as old as me. Oh, sorry, a lot older than me when I'm talking to these two guys, because I'm normally the oldest man in the room. Tell me about the war, Grandpa.
I know. You say that all the fucking time, you arsehole. Okay, let's. I don't know how these boys are going to do it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up the first guy and I'm going to throw it to World first. Give you a little bit of a chance to think about it. The player in question is going to be the quarterback, and I'm going to go to a guy who Taylor knows famously in football world I hate, but fantasy is a different world. I'm going to go. Can you guess who it's going to be? And when I say quarterback and a guy I hate,
quarterback and a guy you hate. Ooh, no, I really can't think of that.
This guy. It's Brock Purdy.
Do I? Oh, of course.
You always say hey, Brock Purdy. We haven't talked about him much this year. He's been hurt. The 49ers have been winning most of the time, I guess, but they don't look the same 49ers team. But Brock Purdy, he's currently quarterback 33 on the year because of missed time, but he is still scoring 17.04 fantasy points per game or thereabouts, and they now come up against the Titans at home. So, gravy matchup. But also, if they get off to a big lead, God knows what's going to happen in the second half of a game like this. So compelling, hard to measure. I'm going to throw to World first. Where do you want to start bidding on Brock Purdy fantasy points at home against the Titans?
Rogan, I'll let you shoot. Whenever you're ready, man.
What is happening? Do we need to?
Really hard about this.
Do we need to? He's a lawyer, so do we need to say opening statement or opening remarks or whatever the fuck you do when you're a lawyer?
These people, how old are these people? And one of them is a fucking lawyer?
Yeah, mate, we haven't done enough of our life, Matty C.
In children's court? What the fuck? Is he arbitrating over how many crayons a person's allowed to eat in a day? Like what?
Well, if it was Scatterbo, it'd be like 11 million.
Yeah, I know, but if it's an average child, maybe it's 2. Are you there, Rogan?
I've just gotten correspondence from the man himself, quote unquote, mic not work, go 16. Okay. So we're rocking with 16.
Okay. So he can hear me, obviously. I'll go to 17.
I'm down to roll up to 18.
I'll go 18.5.
Matchup, right?
Done.
Titans.
Yeah, under.
I'm done.
All right, there you go.
Under.
Woo!
Between
Tay is
18 and 18 and a half. That's a small margin, but I'm out.
No, that's fine. I wouldn't have gone heaps more.
He's projected in sleeper, where this is a standard sleeper league is how we're scoring this. He's projected for 20.4 against the Titans this week. 18.5 is still a point and a half more than his average per game this year. Tay, do you feel like you got him a discount?
Yeah, not a massive discount. Like, I wouldn't have probably gone much into the 20s. I like the matchup, but as you pointed out, like, if they lead early and it's all CMC on the ground and, like, CMC steals the first 2 touchdowns, like, it actually could be a pretty low-scoring day for Brock Purdy, because if they're up 21-0, they'll just fucking coast in the second half against the Titans. So there is a world where Purdy doesn't have an amazing game, but yeah, look, I just think there is an opportunity where he has at least like 202, and that gets him near that number already. So, yeah.
Good close. I mean, shit, but at 18.5, and you're saying out, Connor, mate, you're nervous about how much action in the second half?
Yeah, look, I thought 18 was going to high. I really don't think the game's going to be anything resembling competitive, and I think they're just going to be able to check out completely come the second half.
So we've got Taylor with 18.5 and over for Brock Purdy versus Tennessee. I don't know how nobody in the breakout segment did say CMC 45 plus, because fucking hell, he could have a day. The next one up, and I'm going to go Tay on this one first. We're going to go running back, and we're going to go against Atlanta, in Atlanta, with Bucky Irving on the Thursday night football game. He's currently 37th ranked running back because he missed 7 games. He missed a lot of time, but when he was played, has averaged 17.5 fantasy points per game against Atlanta, in Atlanta, where sometimes the defense stands up a bit more at home. What do you want to do for a Buccaneers team who fucking have to win?
I think the Buccaneers are at home as well, aren't they? So that's not really gonna help Atlanta. I could be wrong there. I feel like I remember them playing in Atlanta
No, you're right.
Week 1. Yeah. All right. I'll go 12.
Go on, Rogan. Now you're Mike Werkey. We'll up you to, what did you say, 12? We'll up you to 14.
All right.
Talking about.
I'll go 15.
Yeah, down for 16.
Sorry, did you say you went to 16?
16, please.
And Rogan's back.
Yeah, I heard he say something, please, but I wasn't sure if he was saying that to Rogan. I just couldn't understand what he said. All right, let's go 16.7.
Oh, points. Now, this is where it gets fun. You can move in increments of 0.1 if you want to. As if you want to go 16.8, you can. If you want to go 17.1, it doesn't have to be full or half fantasy points. It can be in tenths.
Let's go a little bit short. Let's go 17.2. What do you reckon?
I'm in.
17.7.
Nah.
You fucking idiot.
He's out.
I agree.
You sure?
Yeah,
I agree.
we're out.
Damn it. Now I'm the overs guy this week. This is where I don't want to live.
Wow, he is 2 out of 2 for overs. You guys are rinsing Taylor. I love this. 17.7 for Taylor.
Let's go,
on a guy who averages 17.5. So, and at home.
Yeah, but his name's Bucky, and that's dumb, so...
It's a bit dumb.
Hey. True.
Where is he going with this?
It's a dumb first name. Have you imagine that conversation? You're just like, wife has a baby, you're holding it there in the maternity ward, and you're like, you look like a Bucky. Like, how does this happen?
I don't know, but my brother literally drafted him in our dynasty league because he thought he was Kyrie's cousin.
Oh, fucking hell. I love Kieran, mostly because I'm pretty sure he's the guy who licks windows clean. I know he's clever, but fucking hell.
He also drafted Rashee Rice in the same rookie draft because he wanted an Asian on his team.
Good pickup.
Oh, my God.
Play on.
So he got to good picks. He got to good picks for absolutely no reason.
Unbelievable. Kieran Goodall, undefeated. Undefeated. In something. We don't know what, but something. So Kyrie Irving versus Atlanta. Kyrie's cousin. 7.5 points a game. He's actually projected 15.5 in this one. Taylor's got him at 17.7. Well done, World. I'm going to come to you, World, because I've got a problem. I've got a wide receiver, and man, I was so surprised when I saw where he was ranked on the year, because I'm pretty sure if you own Lad McConkey, you are fucking mad. Madder than hell, because you probably had to draft him as wide receiver 9 to 15, and he's wide receiver 24 on the year. But I'm shocked he's his highest wide receiver 24, to be honest. I own very little of him because I was nervous about him, but I also don't feel like there's been weeks where he's blown the doors off. He is currently going to go to Kansas City to play against them in a division game that matters. Like, this will vanquish Kansas City if the same Chargers team that just won on Monday Night Football can give these guys a razzing down there. He is currently scoring 12.2 fantasy points per week, and that is good enough to be a flex fringe wide receiver 2. World, what do you want to do with Lad McConkey?
Rogan, do you want to actually start one for once?
Yeah, not too confident from Team World on Lad McConkey, based on a couple of things. One, stupid name.
Dumb name.
Two, yeah, Herbert's hand, not good. And I don't like the look of Lad, so I'm going to go...
Now, is he thinking or is his mic fucked?
I'm Rogan. I say 9.
Is that a McCarthy reference or is that the number?
That was Rogan. What do you...
It's a Bryce Young reference.
Yeah, I was going to say 10, so let's go 10.
10. Let's start at 10, Rogan.
Fuck you then. Cool.
Sorry, bro.
We got 10.5.
Oh.
10.8.
Yeah, I was scared you were going to say unders on 10.5. You can have 10.8. I fucking don't want it at all. I just can't be the guy that's over on McConkey.
Oh, this is the game. This is the game.
That's not good.
No, he is a good player. He is a good player. I think that's unreasonable to say. He's a good player who has played poorly. All the underlying numbers haven't changed from last season. I actually don't understand how he's been this bad.
Remember Matty C in the preseason? We were like, who's the one guy we're just not drafting any of at their draft position? Lad was literally the guy. There were just so... like you just said, Connor, he is a good player. It's just there's so many reasons to believe that there was going to be problems. And this was even before Quinton Johnson actually played better than anyone expected. It was just the whole reason he dominated at the end of last year was they couldn't get anything going in the running game. He had absolutely no competition for targets. There were so many reasons why this year wasn't going to be the same as the end of last year. And he was going at wide receiver 12 off the board or something. It was just so...
He was going at his ceiling, absolutely. But yeah, no, his snap count hasn't reduced. He's still running the same amount of routes. All of his underlying numbers are fine. He's just not getting that volume of targets, but that's just because the ball's kind of getting peppered around into different areas, I suppose, and the run game is significantly better.
Look, those are all really good and valuable points, but I think you're overlooking one key detail.
His name?
Which is that, no, last year he was clean shaven. This year he has a really OT.
Yeah, great analysis.
And I think that's just where the problems start.
Yeah, he's on his way to looking like a hypnotist. That is true. But also, so stupid name. Granted, Lad is a dumb name. I love his name when you put it all together because Lad McConkey sounds like, he should be selling secondhand cars down in fucking some town you've never heard of in backwater Alabama, not being a wide receiver 1 on an NFL team in Los Angeles. But, mate, we were terrified about him. Tay and I were terrified about him because he doesn't sort of profile as your number 1 receiver. And then all of a sudden he's got all these things around him that have, when you sign Keenan Allen late in the preseason, it's like, well, there is a real connection between him and Justin Herbert and then Huge. Wow, who would have thought Huge would play Huge for a huge, big part of the early part of the season? And again now he's just kind of started to surface again. So it's difficult. And then that running game and the offensive line have been disasters, absolute disasters. He's projected 13.8. World, you've got him at 10.8. So if you're talking in sleeper terms, that's a 3-point discount But Tay, mate, you were out of there faster than a rat up a drain pipe as soon as they advanced you on 10.5.
I felt sick at 10.5. I was like, if they're going to say, they could have said anything else than that. Like, I felt gross.
Yeah, you took off like somebody with a VCR under their arm in the 90s, clearing people's back fences, running away from the cops. That's right, VCRs. Do you remember them, boys? Nah.
Oh, no, the VCR chat.
Vodka, Coke, and raspberry.
Yeah, taking the piss. Yeah, vodka, Coke, and raspberry, right?
Yeah, here we go. So, I'm going to come up with 3-letter analogies you guys will not have heard of before. MSG, HSCs, VCRs. Yeah.
I think the clip art for this podcast is definitely Steve Buscemi with the fucking backwards hat. And
Shout out the fellow kids, man.
But it's me. That's the problem. It's going to be my fucking face on Steve Buscemi. Let's move to a young guy. This will be more in your world. Young fellows. Hey, young people. Yeah, I already feel fellow young people. Dalton Kincaid is going to face New England in New England. He's back from injury, which is great. Every other tight end in that team was scoring points last week, but not him. But, I mean, it was his first week back. We do expect him to have an increased role this coming week. He's currently tight end 16 on the year, given the time he's missed. And he is currently averaging 12.43 fantasy points per game. Against New England, in New England. Tay, where do you want to start on Dalton Kincaid?
It's always a funny one where to start a tight end line because I feel like they can be so fucking hit or miss. So it's like you start at 7. Yeah. It's like,
at 2.6.
Yeah, it's like, all right, so I'll go 6.5 as my starter.
Yucky. Let's go. We'll up you to 7 though.
Ooh, all right. I'll go 7.7.
Rogan, I'm deferring.
Abstain.
What was it? 7.7?
Yeah.
7.7 is our line at the moment with Taylor.
Can I show you 7.8?
Good move. I like this.
All right, I'll up it by double that. I'll go to 8.
Whoa!
You can have that.
Damn, I should have gone 7.9.
Yeah, we would have kept going, mate.
Yeah, we would have kept going if you went 7.9.
Stole an extra point. Stole an extra 0.1.
Wow. So we're at Taylor with 8 points on Dalton Kincaid.
Yep.
He's projected 9.75. So they're projecting a depressed day for him. He's been averaging 12. That's a full 3 points below his season average at New England. Yeah, tough, right? New England are currently the one. Well, they're the 2 seed in the AFC now that the Broncos won this coming week, but they're 11-2, and they, my God, I miss the days when the Patriots were shit. Doesn't anyone else? I mean, they were fleeting.
Yeah,
they were.
I don't remember any of those.
6 months? Was that like 6 months?
Yeah. Can we just get Gerard Mayo back in there? That was fantastic. I fucking love that.
That'd be good.
Wow.
Or just Bill Belichick now. That would be great.
Yeah. Actually, get his girlfriend. Rogan, you are so quick. Yeah. Get his girlfriend in there. Fuck. We miss those days. It's time for mystery meat, fellas. I've got a 5th position. Nobody knows which position it's going to be because very similar to the positions before, you don't even know what player it could be at the position. But I'm going to go running back. I'm going to drag a second running back in. We had Bucky Irving earlier. I'm going to stay in the NFC and take a running back against a team who are they've got some changed outlook. The Seattle Seahawks, they host the Indianapolis Colts this week, and Kenneth Walker is running back 24 on the year. He seems to get a bulk of the work when he's healthy between the 20s, but man, he just kind of doesn't seem to get the goal line as much, and he's catching passes as well, which is helpful, but it's just kind of hard to know because also that defense is doing enough defensive scoring that sometimes it takes away the need for the offense to do a whole bunch. The Colts also question marks about whether they'll keep up, which also plays nicely into the hands of a running back at home. So it is Kenneth Walker versus the Indianapolis Colts, and he is averaging 10.66 fantasy points this year. Connor, Rogan, When you want to kick this one off?
I don't like him. Ken Walker, if he survives the game, which is a question.
Always a question. Here's the new Chris Carson.
Can I start at 6?
Yep, you can start at 6. I'll go to 7.
So Rogan, 7 in there?
Yeah, I'm happy to go to. I think I'm happy to go to 8, Connor.
All right, I'll rock with 8.
8.5.
Okay. That was quick.
I'm actually okay to go with a bit of a JJ McCarthy if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
A 9.
Heyo.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'll go to 9.5.
9.5 from Taylor. 9.5.
Nah, I'm out. Charbonner all the way.
I'm weirdly like way more optimistic than these guys, and I
hate that guy.
I feel like I've
really doesn't.
I've made my comeback. I've made my comeback in this segment by being negative, so it's really throwing me off.
I don't know if I agree with Connor on this one. I'm kind of
no. His career still exists because of one stupid little front flip that didn't even gain that many more yards.
Wow,
he sucks.
He sucks. It's definitive. I mean, 9.5 is the line at the moment. It would be with Taylor, Rogan, and Connor. You got to decide if you're totally out. I know Connor's out, but Rogan, you out.
You can disagree. I give you permission.
Yeah.
Connor's captain of Team World by the sound of it.
I thought it was over.
You motherfucker.
No.
10.5?
Yeah, I'm 10.5. I'm very okay with Kenneth Walker.
Hey, it's still on 10.5.
I can't wait for Charbonnet to get 3 fucking touchdowns and Ken Walker to not be on the field, man.
That's right, Tay. It's with you. 10.5.
I kind of want these guys to feud, so I think I'm going to go under. Because I feel like Connor doesn't want to be on the side, and Rogan seems bothered.
I'm happy with it.
What I like here is that actually it's no longer Taylor versus the world. It's the fucking world against itself. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Just let the world implode.
Civil war.
No.
Yes, the thing is that what Taylor doesn't pick up is that he's just been absolutely rinsed.
Oh yes, I'm a Ken Walker believer. I can't even fucking lie about that.
He's just been taken out the back and shot.
Okay. Well, world, you've got Ken Walker at 10.5 against Indianapolis. Taylor has got Dalton Kincaid at New England for 8 points or more. The world has Ladd McConkey at Kansas City for 10.8 points or more. And then Taylor, ever the optimist, has 17.7 points for Bucky Irving or more versus Atlanta, and 18.5 or more for Brock Purdy against Tennessee. That is tipping point for the week. And I'm going to tell you, if this Kenneth Walker thing comes off and World get 10.5 and more, and that is the decider, your season is going to end. The World just needs to pull off one win, and your season is over. Imagine if it was Kenneth Walker at 10.5.
I don't love it because they give up 98 yards to the entire running back position a game, the Colts, and Kenneth Walker weirdly hasn't been catching an absurd amount of passes, and he's getting no goal line. So I'm like, if he gets 60 or 70 of those yards, he probably still doesn't get to 10.5 the way things are going. So yeah, I wasn't high on him either. I wasn't going to go much higher anyway. So I was kind of okay at 9.5, I guess, being over, but yeah, I didn't want it to go much higher, so I'm fine going under 10.5.
It was a contentious one. I feel like each week, depending on the people we've had through, I feel like we've been lucky to get some really contentious players or some really interesting players where the sky could be the limit. So it's been a fun segment. I know, Tay, we literally dreamed this segment up 15 minutes before week 1 kicked off, and we were bringing a guest through. But it has been a shit ton of fun. Connor, Rogan, thank you so much for subjecting yourselves to Tipping Point. Thank you so much for subjecting yourselves to breaking further breakouts. We are going to drag you guys back to talk about your impending matchup of doom for Week 15 in the NFL. And then we're also going to get into our starts of the week where, mate, we actually have to work together to stop this Taylor prick from taking this segment out. So turns out I'm going to have to work with you guys, and I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to have you back on the Sunday show. Thanks so much for joining us here on Friday.
Thank you very much.
What's great about it is Rogan just literally dropped out as we were saying, see you later. You still there, mate?
Sorry.
You back?
Sorry, yeah. No, I had a really good time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. And Tay, we can guarantee you're going to be back on Sunday because you're contractually obligated. I don't feel like you've assaulted these two guys so much that they will avoid us and our call when we try to hook this thing up on Sunday. So everything's looking up. Mate, any final words for folks who are heading into their Thursday night football game between the Buccaneers and Atlanta that we should know?
The game that's in Atlanta, but in Tampa Bay.
It's in fucking Tampa. I'm an idiot.
Just hello, fellow young kids. Like that just feels like it's been the theme of the podcast. So we're the younks, and we're definitely out of our depth with the young people at the moment, Matty C. But looking forward to Sunday, mate. Looking forward to tearing you guys apart again. I know it didn't last week, but overall, just smashing it this year, mate. And I hope that continues. Let's go.
Yeah, mate. Vibe check. Fucking slay. How about that? Yeah, I can talk young people. That did not rouse their... Yeah, that did.
Yeah, not flying. Not flying.
No, fair enough. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you all on the Sunday show. I'm going to try and save whatever dignity I have left that my wife also hasn't taken from me. We'll see you on Sunday. Hooroo!
Hooroo! Thank you.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Thanks to the Aussie Gridiron Network, Australia's home for NFL and Australian gridiron content. Discover everything the network has to offer, including G'day Gridiron, Pastry Press, NFL, and Aussie Gridiron Today. Buy merch and win free stuff. Visit the mothership at Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. Hooroo!